Before we start, I do want to mention I was at E.J. McGuire's funeral this morning. I want to pass along our thoughts and prayers to his family. He was a great hockey man and a great part of the hockey family, and he'll be missed. Starting off at the end of the season, I do want to thank the media for the coverage of our hockey team. I think it's been fair and balanced by and large, and we do appreciate that. And we can only get 19,000 people in the building on a nightly basis, and we depend on the media to reach the rest of the GTA and our fans everywhere else, so thank you for that. So let's talk about this past season. When you miss the playoffs, your season is a failure, and that's the case here. Your goal has to be to be a playoff team, and when you're not successful in that, in my opinion, your season is a failure. But I think we played 2 seasons this year. I think we played a dreadful first half and had a real strong second half. From the All-Star break on, we were 4th in the East, not just a playoff team, but home ice. And I think that's the team that we ended the season with, and that's the team we're going to build on going forward. So we think there are things to be proud of. I am proud of the way our players finished up, staying in the hunt right till the end. And I think these are building experiences. The next best thing for a young team, if you're not in the playoffs, is to have a run like we have, where you played meaningful games on a nightly basis with tremendous pressure and tremendous scrutiny. And I think that second half deserves praise. I want to mention some specific players that I think deserve to be singled out for praise. One is Dion. Dion, I think, I'm not sure people understand how serious the surgery he had was, and how when he came back initially he had to wear a brace. I thought his second half was terrific. Phil Kessel, in my opinion, this year emerged as a 200-foot player, or 3-zone player, in addition to having a third straight 30-goal plus season. I thought Grabowski's line with Nikolai Kuhlman and Clark MacArthur was excellent. Really stepped up. I thought the 2 young defensemen, Luke Shed and Keith Ollie, had breakthrough years. I think Joffrey Lupul gave us an important presence in our top 6 and gave us some size up there. And then, of course, James Reimer, I think, deserves to be singled out for praise. I thought his second half of the season was remarkable. We have some player contract issues. We have fewer than most teams. Obviously, most of our key guys are locked up. We have 6 unrestricted free agents, and then we have Luke Shen and Clark MacArthur, notably, that are up, that are not unrestricted free agents. They're restricted free agents. Because our staff is so heavily invested in the World Championships, we will address these issues after we get back from the World Championships and not before. Our coaching staff, as I said repeatedly this year, the coaching staff will be back. There seems to be some speculation about whether they should be extended or not. It's certainly nothing that we're going to focus on today. Again, that is going to wait. Any discussion of an extension for any of the coaches will wait until after the World Championships, and will be done privately if it takes place at all. There's no reason to extend the coaches in particular at this time. They are all under contract for next season. Special teams was our Achilles heel this year. The reason we're not in the playoffs was our special teams. It's not an overstatement, and it's a legitimate concern. I think it's too easy to blame special teams on the coaches. When our power play was clicking, when our penalty killing was clicking, when our players were executing, our percentages were just fine. And you watch that and you think, okay, you know, you look at a power play, the 3 elements of a power play, breakout, entry, setup, and you see it work and you're like, okay, that's not coaching. That's players executing a well thought out plan. And then you watch it not work, and the temptation is to blame it on the coaches. I don't understand that, frankly. But it is a legitimate concern, and we may have to address this through a player acquisition. We may have to acquire a player either by trade or by free agency that can improve us in these areas. But it's definitely a legitimate concern. In terms of goaltending, we are confident that James Reimer can handle not only the physical workload, but the pressure cooker workload of being a starting goaltender in a Canadian market. We're confident of that. And we are confident that at this point, we want to give the Monster a chance. He hasn't gotten a chance due to physical issues to show us what he can do. There were, I believe, 20 teams that expressed interest in the Monster when we signed him. There were 5 teams that came after him hard. I don't think all those teams were wrong, and I don't think we were wrong. I think this guy's a legitimate NHL goaltender, and he needs to be given a chance to see that. Ben Scrivens and UC Renus had solid years for us in the minors, and we'll have to wait and see what Jiggy's status is after his surgery. He may not be a factor for us, and he may be. We'll wait and see. It's premature to discuss that. We were happy with our play in the system. We narrowly missed the playoff spots with the Marlies. I think Dallas Eakins did a great job. And I think if you look at the players that we signed for the Marlies that ended up playing meaningful roles for us, it makes what Dallas did absolutely remarkable. We like some of the young players that played for the Marlies this year that should or could be a factor either next year or in the future, with Nazem Kadri, Joe Colburn, Jake Gardner. You all got to look at Matt Fratton. That's a Fergie pick, by the way. And this guy looked like it was just one game, but he looks like he may challenge for a job. Corbinian Holzer probably was our most improved defenseman with the Marlies, another Fergie draft, and he really made some steps. He's playing for Germany in the World Championships. Greg McKegg had a solid year with Erie, and we signed him, and he went in with the Marlies and scored a goal his first game. Bradley Ross, Tyler Brenner, Marcel Mueller, all guys that we think have big upside. We have the draft coming up in Minnesota in June. We have 11 picks. My strategy going into the draft is we've got 2 first-round picks and our second. We are willing to entertain options to move up with 2 of those picks, but we're going to pick twice. If we can trade one of the first and our second, or the other of the first and our second, and move up and pick higher in the first round, we'll do that. But we like the depth in this draft, and we intend to keep 2 picks. That's the plan right now. July 1st free agency. As always, we intend to be active on July 1st. We have a ton of cap room, and we intend to be a factor on July 1st.